Hello and welcome to the classes by Monisha Nath Paul. Today we are back again with some new energy to start on with the new lesson, speed, distance and time. Yes, speed. So gear up yourself for the new chapter. Suppose I say I travelled 150 kilometer in 3 hours. So what is the distance I travelled in 1 hour? So in 1 hour I'll be travelling 150 by 3 kilometer, that is 50 kilometer. That means I travelled 50 kilometer in 1 hour. So that is my speed is 50 kilometers per hour. This per hour means 1 hour. So what can I say over here? That is speed is the distance covered in unit time. Okay, that is if I write it in the form of a formula. So speed, which I will write as S, is equal to distance by time. S represents speed, D represents distance, and T will represent time. So speed is equal to distance by time. So what is speed? Speed is the distance covered in unit time. So from here I can derive the other formulas as well. So what is distance? Distance is equal to speed into time, and what is time? It is equal to distance by speed. So if out of these three quantities any two is given to me, I can use the two and get the third one. That is, if speed and distance is given, I can find time using this formula. If speed and time is given, I can find distance using this formula. And if speed is required and time and distance is given, we can find speed using this formula. Now we have to know certain things about the units. If your distance is in kilometer and time is in hour, so your speed will be in kilometer per hour. If distance is in meter, time should be in minutes, and it is meter per minute. If distance is in meters and time is in second, so it is meter per second. So this has to be taken care of. That is, if distance is in kilometers, time needs to be in hour, so the speed will be kilometer per hour. If it is in meters, that is distance is in meters, time is in minute, then speed is meter per minute. If distance is in meters, time is in seconds, so it is meter per second. Okay. All right. Now we are going to learn about the interconversions of kilometer per hour to meter per second. Okay, 1 kilometer per hour, what does it mean? That is 1 kilometer travelled in 1 hour. So 1 kilometer per hour means 1 kilometer is 1000 meters and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. That is 1000 by 3600 meter per second. So that means what we can say over here, 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. And if it is from meter per second to kilometer per hour. So 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. This is a very, very, very important conversion. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second, and 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. Very, very important. All right. Now let us do some sums. Say for example, I say a distance covered by a body is 20 kilometer and time taken to cover the distance is 30 minutes. You are asked to find the speed. So what are we going to do over here? So distance is in kilometers, time is in minutes. So we have learned that either it is kilometer per hour or it is meter per minute or meter per second. So what we'll do, so let me tell you to convert it in, to get the answer in kilometer per hour. So if distance is this, D was your 20 kilometer. What is your time? 30 minutes, which is equal to 30 by 60 hour, that is half hour. So speed is equal to distance by time. So distance is 20 by half, that is this much kilometer per hour, which is 40 kilometer per hour. So speed is equal to distance by time. So 20 was our distance, 20 kilometers, and time, which was given in minutes, we had converted that to hours, which we got as half hour. So the answer in kilometer per hour is 40 kilometer per hour. Another example, if the distance is equal to 6 kilometer and time equals to 45 minutes. If I say find your speed in kilometer per hour and in meter per second. If I say find the speed in kilometer per hour and meter per second. So now distance is given in 6 kilometers. Time to find in kilometer per hour, my time has to be in hours. So this 45 minutes will be 45 by 60 hour, that is 15 3s are 15 4s are 3 by 4 hour. So your speed will be distance by time, that is 6 by 4 kilometer per hour. It is 6 into 4 by 3 kilometer per hour, that is 8 kilometer per hour. All right. Now if I had to do in kilometer per hour, this is the process. Now if it is to be done in meter per second, now both ways, using this conversion or using the total conversion of all the distance to meters and times to seconds, that way also will be possible. So distance is given to us in kilometers, so that is equal to 6000 meters. Time is given to us 45 minutes, that is equal to 45 into 60 seconds. So speed is equal to distance by time. So distance is 6000, time is 45 into 60, and this will be in meter per second. So (20 by 9 meter per second). Now this is using the conversion of what is given. Now if I could do it using this, now from kilometer per hour I want to go to meter per second, so I will be using this. So 8 kilometer per hour will be 8 into 5 by 18 meter per second. That means 2 4s are 2 9s are, that is 20 by 9 meter per second. So you can see easily that both the cases I can see I have got the same answer. So I have shown you how you can do converting of speed from one unit to other using the multiplication by either 5 by 18 or 18 by 5 as the case is requiring it. So if it is from kilometer per hour to meter per second, you can multiply with 5 by 18 and get the answer. Even without using that you can see, but this is a little bit time taking. You can use this directly because I have shown you how the relationship or how the derivation is obtained. So using direct you can get the answer. You could have also first got your 20, suppose your answer is 20 meter per second. To convert it to kilometer per hour, let's see. So 20 meter per second means 20 into, now from meter per second to kilometer per hour it is 18 by 5. That much kilometer per hour. So when I 20 by 9, yeah. So this is 4s, this is 2s, 4 2s 8 kilometer per hour. So you could also do this first and use the conversion, and then you could have reached to kilometer per hour, or any one of the ways you can take up. So all the possible ways I have shown you on the board, that is how to convert your speed from one unit to the other, or directly you can do it converting every quantity given to you, that is distance, time, in the required units, and then get the final answer. All right. Now let us do a train runs at a speed of 54 km per hour. How far will it go in 20 minutes? So I can see here in this sum, what do I have to find? I am given the speed, I am given the time. I have to find the distance. How far? So here lies the question. You have to find the distance. So to find the distance, what is the formula? Speed into time. Now speed is given to me in kilometer per hour and time is given in minutes. So I can do either, my distance can be calculated in kilometers or in meters. But in that case, for getting the answer in meters, I need to change my 54 km per hour into meter per minute, because the time is in minutes. Or I can do one thing, that is convert the 20 minutes to hours, so that I get the answer in kilometers. So 20 minutes means 20 by 60 hours. I'll get the answer in kilometers. So that is 1 by 3 hours. So speed is equal to 54 and time is 1 by 3 hours. So the distance will be in kilometer. 54 into 1 by 3 kilometer. So 54 into 1 by 3 is equal to, that is 18 kilometer. So the answer, how far will it go in 20 minutes? So the train goes or the train covers 18 kilometer in 20 minutes. Next sum. The speed of a cycle is 12 km per hour. How many minutes will it take to cover a distance of 800 meters? So I can see over here that the speed is given to us, distance is given to us. I have to find the time, because how many minutes? So we know that time is equal to distance by speed. Again, there is difference of the units over here. Speed is in kilometer per hour, time is given in to be found out in minutes, and the distance is in meters. So what I can do is, this distance, that is 800 meters, I can write it as 800 by 1000 kilometers, that is 0.8 kilometers. So this is 0.8 by 12 hours, that is 80 by 12 hours. That is 20 by 3 hours. Right. 0.8 by 12. Wait, just a minute. Here is the mistake. Eight ones are 8, 15. So 1 by 15 hours. Now 1 by 15 hours means 1 by 15 into 60 minutes, that is equal to 4 minutes. So that means how many minutes? Your answer will be 4 minutes. So the cycle will take 4 minutes to cover a distance of 800 meter with the given speed. All right. Now, uniform speed. What is uniform speed? Suppose we assume that a body or an object moves and it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, then the body is said to have uniform speed. That is, equal distances are covered in equal intervals of time. Say for example, a body covers 50 kilometers in the first 1 hour. Again 50 kilometers in the second 1 hour. Again 50 kilometers in the third hour. So you can see that with an interval of 1 hour, the body is covering 50 kilometers. So that means it is covering equal distances at equal intervals of time. So in such a case, the body is said to have uniform speed. The body is said to have uniform speed. But in case we see a situation where the body covers or the object covers 50 kilometers in first hour. In the second hour it covers 55 kilometers. Third hour it covers 57 kilometers. So you can see over here that at equal intervals of time the body is not covering the same distance. It is not covering the same distance. There is a difference in the distance that is created. So why do you think there is a distance in difference in the distance created? Means in practical, if we take the practical examples, when we move on a road, we come across several obstacles. As a reason, we have to slow down our speed or increase our speed. As a result, there is a difference in the distance that is created. Okay, so in that case, in this case the speed is variable, or the variable speed. The speed is variable. Okay, it is changing. Similarly, if I see that the body covers 50 kilometers in the first hour, it covers 50 kilometers in the next 1 hour 15 minutes, then it covers 50 kilometers in 1 hour 40 minutes. So I can see here that the distance covered each time is same, that is 50 in each case, but the time intervals are not same here in this case. Okay, so there is a difference in the time intervals. So here also we can say that the speed is variable. In this case also the speed is variable. So in the first case, what did we see? That the body is covering 50 kilometers in each hour. In every hour it is covering 50 kilometers. So equal distances are covered by the body in equal intervals of time. So in that case its speed is said to be uniform. But in the other two cases the speed is variable. Why variable? Because the body is covering 50 kilometers in the first hour, then it is covering 55 kilometers in the second hour, in the third hour it is covering 57 kilometers. The time intervals are same, but here you see the distances travelled is different each time, and in the third case here the speed is variable. In the third case you see that every time the speed that is the body is covering is same, the distance the body is covering is the same, but the time taken in each for the body to cover the 50 kilometers in each case is different. For the first time it was 1 hour, the second time it was 1 hour 15 minutes, the third 50 kilometer was covered in 1 hour 40 minutes. So you see that here there is a variation in the speed. So as a result of which the time taken was more. Here the time taken was same, but distance covered was different. Here the distances covered in each time was in each case was same, but the time that was taken to cover that distance is different in the different cases. So what I can see here, that even here in this case the speed is variable. So I hope the uniform speed and variable speed is clear to you. So in our real life we always do not have uniform speed during our journey. So what do we do in that case? We have to follow the average speed in that case. We have to follow average speed in that case. Say for example, for a time t1 that you have taken, you cover a distance of d1. Suppose in t1 hours you covered a distance of d1 kilometer. Again in t2 hours you cover a distance of d2 kilometer. t3 hours you cover a distance of d3 kilometer. So the body is having different distances covered in different intervals of time. So what do we do in this case? How do we find the speed? So to find the speed in this case, we use the formula for average speed. And what is the formula for that? It is the total distance covered by total time taken to cover that distance. That is, total distance covered will be d1 plus d2 plus d3 for this example by t1 plus t2 plus t3 kilometers per hour. So suppose I say that I have covered d1 distance in t1 hours, d2 distance in the t2 hours, and d3 distance in the t3 hours. So how do I calculate the average speed? So the average speed will be the total distance covered by the total time taken. Now for example, if I have that I cover 120 kilometer in 2 hours, next I covered 160 kilometers in 3 hours, and third I covered 140 kilometers in 2 hours. So during a journey of mine, I have covered 120 kilometers in 2 hours, 160 kilometers in 3 hours, and 140 kilometers in 2 hours. Say I am traveling by a train. So what is the average speed by which the train is moving? So the average speed, so here you can say this is your d1, this is your t1, d2, t2, d3 and t3. So average speed will be, you will use this formula. So here it is 120 plus 160 plus 140 by 2 plus 3 plus 2. So 120 plus 160 plus 140 is 420. 420 by 7 kilometer per hour. It is 60 kilometer per hour. So that means the average speed of the train will be 60 kilometer per hour. Now in some cases you will also find sums given in a different way. Say it is in the form that is a body is covering a distance d1 with the speed of, say I'll show you another case. Say d1 kilometers covered at s1 kilometer per hour speed, d2 kilometers covered at s2 kilometer per hour, d3 kilometer covered at s3 kilometer per hour. Now what to do in this case? In this case the time is not given, and as per I can see here that I have to find the average speed over here. So how do I find the average speed? Because time is not given to me, but in case of time what is given? The speeds are given at which these distances are covered. So what you will do in this case is, for each case you will find out the time. For this you will find out the time, for this you will find out the time, and for this you will find out the time. So let us take this as t1, T2 and T3. So to calculate the time during the first journey, T1 is equal to D1 by S1 R. Distance by speed is time. T2 is equal to D2 by S2 R. Third, T3 is equal to D3 by S3 R. Now you have got your T1, T2 and T3. So average speed will be D1 plus D2 plus D3 by T1 plus T2 plus T3 kilometer per hour. So it's not that always directly the time will be given to you. The previous case I showed that directly the time was given to you, but in this case time is not given to you. What is given to you is the speed that the body is taking up to cover these distances. So for different distances you can see different speeds are taken up by the body. So you will have the times accordingly. So for each case you have a particular time. So now once you get the different times for the different distances covered at different speeds, so you will calculate your average speed, and the formula for average speed is the sum of the distances covered or the total distances covered by the total time taken to cover the distance. So let's do one example based on this. Say the body is covering 30 km per hour at the speed of 30 kilometers, the speed of 60 km per hour. So a train is covering, or a body is covering 30 kilometers at the speed of 60 km per hour and 60 km at the speed of 80 km per hour. So this is the case 2 example. I can see over here these are the distances given to me and these are the speeds given to me. So I need to find out the time. Okay, so this is your D1, this is your D2, this is your S1, this is your S2. So your T1 will be D1 by S1. So D1 is 30 by 60 hours, it will be, that is equal to half. T2 will be D2 by S2, that is 60 by 80 hour, that is 3 by 4 hour. Now we have got the 2 hours. So your time taken to cover 30 km at a speed of 60 km per hour is half hour, and the time taken to cover 60 km at the speed of 80 km per hour is 3 by 4 hours. So what is your average speed? The average speed will be D1 plus D2 by T1 plus T2. So D1 is 30 plus 60 and this is half plus 3 by 4 kilometer per hour. So 90 by half plus 3 by 4 is 5 by 4. So this is 5 by 4, that is your kilometer per hour, that is equal to 72 kilometer per hour. So answer is 72 kilometer per hour. So for the case 2 I have also shown you how to do the sums. So I hope speed and distance so far is clear till average speed. Today we are going to deal with a very important concept, that is sums based on the speed of trains. Suppose I say to find the speed of a train in case the train is crossing a man or a pole or a tree, something that is stationary. This is the case 1. And second is if it is crossing a bridge or a platform, then what do we do in this case? So in case we are trying to find the speed of a train that is crossing a pole or a person or a tree, that is something that is a stationary object. So what does it do? Now for this you need to understand something practically. Say for example, let this scale represent the train and let this pen represent the pole. Now suppose when the train is over here, that is the train is about to cross the pole. So the starting point of the train is marked in this yellow slit of paper. Now when do I say the train crosses the pole? That is when the end of the train is at this position. So if this is the starting position, that is if the train is starting to cross the pole from here, it moves and it crosses the pole at this point. That is when it has traversed entirely, that is the end part of the train has crossed the pole, I can say that the pole has the train has crossed the pole. So in this case, what is the distance travelled by the train? What is the distance travelled by the train? So you see, in crossing the pole, the train has covered a distance. Look at this yellow mark. The yellow mark at the initial position when it was over here, the yellow mark is over here. And what is the position of the yellow mark when the entire train has crossed the pole? The train has traversed a distance equal to its own length. The train has traversed a distance equal to its own length. So see over here, this was the initial position, that is the yellow mark shows you this is the starting position, and when the train entirely crosses, it is over here now. So you can see the yellow position is here, the yellow slit of paper is here now. So what is the distance that is travelled by the train? So the train travels a distance which is equal to its own length. So that is a very important concept, that is the distance travelled to cross the pole is equal to its own length. So if I have to find the speed of the, or not speed, the time taken to cross the pole, it will be its own length, that is length of the train by the speed of the train. Okay, so time taken by a train to cross a pole is what? It is equal to the time taken by the train to cover a length or cover a distance that is equal to the length of the train. Okay, so the time taken will be length of the train by speed of the train. This is the case 1. Now what is case 2? The case 2 is if the train is crossing a platform or a bridge, then what happens in this case? So in this case, again we will see it practically. Suppose this is a platform and this is the train. So similarly over here you can see that the train is in this position now. Now when this end of the train will come over here, I can say that the train has crossed the platform. So here this is the starting point. Now you can see the train is entirely, it's over here, it is now over here. So what is the distance covered? What is the distance covered? So from the starting to the end you can see the yellow slit. Suppose I say that this is the length L2 and the train has a length say L1. So this is the train's length L1. So now you can see that the yellow position or the yellow paper is here at this position, the starting position. That is the point at which the train starts to cross the platform. Now as the train is moving, you can see when the end part of the train is here, it crosses the platform entirely. So what is the distance traveled by the yellow part or the starting part? Here the distance traveled was, the initial point was at that end, and now finally it is over here. So what is the distance traveled? L2, that is the length of the platform, plus this is the length of the train. The length of the train is L1. So for crossing a bridge or a platform, the distance that is traveled is equal to length of platform plus length of train. And the time taken will be what? Suppose I tell this as L1 plus L2, that is length of the platform plus length of the train by the speed. So what is the time taken? I repeat, that is, first you will find out the distance travelled by the train to cover the platform, and what is it? The train covers a distance which is equal to the sum of the lengths of the platform and length of its own. Then the time taken will be to cross the platform will be the length of the train plus the length of the platform by the speed of the train. Now based on this, let's do a sum. The length of a train is 140 meter and its speed is 72 kilometer per hour. How long will it take to cross number A, a pole, B, a platform that is 220 meter long. So in this particular sum, you can see that both the parts are involved, both the cases are involved. So case 1 deals with A, case 2 deals with B. So here the very first thing I can see over here is the length of the train is in meters and speed is in kilometers. So what I can do is speed that is given to me in kilometer per hour, I will change that in meter per second, and you know how to change kilometer per hour into meter per second. If you do not know, please refer to the previous video of this chapter so that this becomes clear to you. So for converting kilometer per hour into meter per second, we need to multiply with 5 by 18. So 72 into 5 by 18 is 20 meter per second. Now in this case, the distance travelled by the train to cross the pole will be what? This will be equal to length of the train, that is equal to, I can see, 140 meter. So time taken is equal to So let's denote this as D. So D by, let's say this is S. So the distance traveled is the length of the train, and what is the length of the train? That is 140 meter. So the time taken by the train to cross the pole will be distance traveled by the speed. So the distance traveled is equal to 140 and speed we have got as 20. This is in meters, this is in meter per second, so time will be in second. So that is equal to 7 seconds. So the time taken by the train to cross the pole is 7 seconds. So your A answer is the train takes 7 seconds to cross the train. Now I'm repeating once again, those who have no idea about how this multiplication of 5 by 18 is taking place, please do refer to my previous video so that you can understand how this 5 by 18 multiplication is taking place. It's very clearly explained in the previous video of this chapter. Now this is the first part, that is the train takes 7 seconds to cross the pole. Okay, this is the first part done. Now the second part of the question is to cross the platform. So here in this case the speed is the same, but the distance traveled will change. Distance traveled will be what? It will be the sum of length of train and platform. That is equal to 120 plus 220 meter. That is 340 meter. This is the distance, that is 140. Yeah, 360. So it is equal to the sum of the length of the train and the platform, that is 140 plus 220. Now speed is already given to us, that is your 20 meter per second. So your time will be distance by speed. So distance is 360 by 20 seconds, that is your 18 seconds. So the time taken by the train to cross the platform will be equal to 18 seconds. So I hope the sum was quite clear to you. That is, to cross the pole you have to take the distance traveled as the length of the train, and for the platform it is the sum of the length of the train and the platform, that is 140 plus 220, that is 360. So 360 is your total distance traveled by the train to cross the platform. So you can write over here that the train takes 18 seconds to cross the platform, that is 220 meter long. So first answer is 7 seconds and the second answer is 18 seconds. All right. Next. A train is traveling at 48 kilometer per hour, crosses a 250 meter long platform in 30 seconds. Find its length. So here in this case we have the speed of the train given to us and the length of the platform is given to us, and the time taken to cross the platform is also given to us. What we need to find is the length of the train, which is the unknown. So we can take, let the length of the train be x meters. We can take the length of the train to be as x meters. Okay, so distance covered to cross the platform. We have seen that whenever a train is crossing a platform, what is the distance covered? The distance is the sum of its length plus length of the platform. Speed is given to us as 48 kilometer per hour. So we know that 48 kilometer per hour has to be changed into meter per second. So 48 into, we are converting it to meter per second, that means we will multiply with 5 by 18. So 48 into 5 by 18, this is 40 by 3 meter per second. Okay, 6 3s are 6 8s are, yes, 8 5s are 40 by 3 meter per second. Now, so what is the time taken? Therefore your time taken will be accordingly, it should be x plus 250 by 40 by 3, this much seconds, that is the time taken. Now we have been given the time taken also. What is the given time taken? That is your 30 seconds. So therefore I can say that x plus 250 30, that implies x plus 250 is equal to 30 into 40 by 3, x plus 250 is equal to 400. So x is equal to 400 minus 250. So x is equal to 150. So we have got the value of x as 150. So we can say, what is the x? X is the length of the train, that is what we are asked. So we can say, therefore the length, find its length, the length of the train equals to 150 meters. So it ends over here. So you can see very well that in this sum, I am repeating again, what was given to us? We were given the speed, we were given the length of the platform, and we were given the time taken, and we were asked to find the length of the train. So here in this case, what did we do? We have taken the length, we have assumed the length to be as x meters. Now we know that while crossing a platform, what is the distance that is covered by the train? So the distance covered to cross the platform will be equal to the sum of the lengths of the train as well as the platform that it is crossing. So it is x plus 250. because the length of the platform was 250. Now speed was given to us in kilometer per hour, 48 kilometer per hour. So 48 kilometer per hour, if we need to convert it to meter per second, we know we have to multiply with 5 by 18. So 48 into 5 by 18 is your 40 by 3 meter per second. With 6 you can cancel, 6 8s are 6 3s are, so 8 5s are 40, 40 by 3 meter per second. Again I am repeating, if you find a confusion over here, please do refer to my previous video where I have shown the conversion of meter per second to kilometer per hour, vice versa, in a very detailed way. So speed is equal to 40 by 3 meter per second. Now time taken, we know the formula for time taken is distance by speed. So time taken is 250 x plus 250 by 40 by 3, that is the time taken by the train to cover the platform. Now also it is given to us that 30 seconds is taken by the train to cover the platform. So given time taken is 30 seconds. So that means this and this is same, they are the same quantities. So 3 into x plus 250 by 40 is equal to 30. So x plus 250 is equal to 30 into 40 by 3. That means if I cancel it over here, it is 400. Now x plus 250 is equal to 400, or x is equal to 400 minus 250, that is equal to 150. Thus the value of x is 150. So what is x actually? X was the length of the train. So therefore the length of the train is equal to 150 meters. So I hope this sum is clear. So we have done two sums based on this concept of a train crossing a pole or a person or a tree, and a train crossing a platform or a bridge, etc. So these two sums will help you to understand the concepts very clear on these two cases that we did today. So please see the videos properly so that you can understand the concept very clearly. If you really like the way that I am teaching, please do like the channel. If you want to share this with your friends so that they also benefit from here, please do share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed it yet, please do subscribe it soon so that you can learn more and more and more and have a wonderful learning experience with me. So see you again in my next videos. Thank you.